Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and some bad news about this Mariner preview, as it looks like some of you have discovered. I got this whole fancy scene just for this. Oh boy. Um, Basically, the preview of the Mariner is delayed until tomorrow, which is really bad news for me because I get home late on Wednesday, and I probably won't be able to stream that until probably like 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. So the plan for today is I will still stream LOTRO, but we're going to be playing on the live servers, not on board, which I, again, had already here. I have a nice countdown on the bottom right, and I actually just got done eating dinner. Another thing that was set for today is because we're previewing the Mariner, I had marinara, but that's not happening anymore. So I am going to go to regular LOTRO, and I realize I'm very poorly prepared for this, so I'll just go to camera. There we go. And I will log into... I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. Maybe level my Beorning with update 37, because I have not really played much of update 37. Outside of a couple specific videos that I have actually recorded, but not uploaded. I think one or two of them might already be available to channel members. If anybody is interested in that, I do give early access to channel members to videos like that. Okay, let's hope this works. So the cat cam is one concern. I have not had time to really get that set up. And the way it is right now, it doesn't really work that well. So this is my camera. This is cat camera. There are 0 cats, even though there are 2 cats in this room. Cameras catch 0 of them. But yeah, I think I'll log into my Beorning here because I want to level him. I also need to adjust the stream title. So let's do that. I think this should work. Yeah. It's kind of crazy because I of course was just eating dinner, so I didn't have time to see too much, but there are so many people waiting for the stream, so it's really unfortunate that they had to delay. Also, I have a fun story for you all about how Standing Stone Games-ish contacted me about this invitation-only preview. So, if I go, let me double check. Yeah, so if I go back to desktop, you'll see my, we still have a timer in my hide my username and password things. We don't need the timer anymore. So sad. But if I go back here, Mariner Preview Delayed. I'll put it in caps so people know. And we're going to call it Beorning leveling instead. ... Actually, there. That'll better state my sadness with it. All right, let's get back to the game. And let me get out of this weird window. I'm working on new stuff, so it's a bit of a mess right now, but I think this is where my normal camera is. Sweet. And I gotta move my kin chat back over here. And I have to turn my monitor brightness up. And now I can't see chat anymore. 1 second, we'll fix that. Oh yeah, so before we get to that, let me actually pull you all back up here. So before we get to that, to share... So first, Cordovan did announce the invitation-only early preview of the Mariner beta, but instead of being contacted through normal channels, I will say, and Cordovan, like, contacting me directly is usually how stuff goes when, like, for the Brawler preview, for example. Brawler and Legendary Items revamp, but this time I got an email from a third party that looked like checked basically all the boxes for phishing, like a phishing scam, with some odd details. So that kind of sketched me out, and I just assumed somebody was trying to steal my account essentially. But then they sent me a link to LOTRO's alpha, actually, and had like all proper details. These were real details. So this third party sent all that. They sent a again sketchy download exe file to download LOTRO's alpha client, which is the Palantir server. And then, yeah, but it turns out that is normal, I suppose. And they just have a third-party PR firm to contact people. So that was kind of interesting. I don't know if it's a new thing because they are affiliated. It's Terra Bruno PR, and they're affiliated with Daybreak Games, I believe, a bit more directly. Okay, let's... Oh, we're already back at game. Perfect. Okay, I also need to finish setting things up for the stream. Again, I went live a little bit earlier than I was actually ready just because the Mariner preview was delayed, so I want to go ahead and get that out there. So it's going to take me just a minute to get normal stream stuff set up. Actually... Wait for it. Sometimes things are slow. In the meantime, what do I want to do to level this character? I'm 129, so I could go to Gundabad. I could do missions. I've done so many missions in LOTRO lately. Not that much lately. Just because I haven't played the game that much lately. Also, let me make sure y'all are hearing. Yeah, that should be in-game audio. Let me see something. I don't have my headphones. I was going to say equipped. Okay, so that's working. I'm used to having my headphones as well. All right, all looks good there. Yeah, I don't think the Mariner will have guns or be like a pirate in that way. We have a cat. She finally decided to join us. My words are not working today. So what was I going on about? I don't even know. Like, oh yeah, I was going to... Yeah, I think my lights were working. So I'm going to level my Beorning, but I zero plans for this, so I have no idea what I want to do on this character. I haven't had time to think about it or plan anything. Like, missions are the easiest thing to just straight up jump into. But this character is also, he's the proper level for Gundabad, which... What in the world is that noise? Now what's going on? Why are my headphones making this noise? Can you all hear that? I don't know. Shouldn't be a battery issue. They were charging the whole time ahead of the stream. The battery noise is different. Maybe somebody was trying to connect to it. Oh, the timer. Yes. Good job, Lorcan. It did sound like a timer. And I believe the oh, LOTRO crashes when I change audio devices or have a new one connect or disconnect or whatever. Okay, let me make sure that's still good and all right, all seems to be working again. This has been a great first stream at the new place. I also have no idea how my internet's going to work. It's been working so far, but there we go. Honestly, I feel like I should play a non-LOTRO game after all this. I actually do want to play LOTRO, but I kind of want to play. I'll play Minecraft. I don't know why. That just sounds fun right now, but maybe that's for another time. I haven't played Minecraft in a while. I've just been feeling a want to play it lately. A desire to play it. Okay, but back in LOTRO, I am all rattled here. I didn't even say hello to everybody here, but thank you everybody for joining the stream and so far sticking around even though we have no Mariner to preview. I should actually also check the LOTRO forums though before we do anything in game. I have not checked the LOTRO forums since all this went on. I got an email directly from the people running the non-standing stone games people running the exclusive early preview thing. But oh boy, if I go back here, yeah, get rid of my bookmark so that doesn't distract us. I do staff tracker. I'm guessing, yeah, here we go. There is an issue. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing I got. So it's going to be 6 p.m. tomorrow, which is 22 o'clock UTC for anybody curious. So as I mentioned, tomorrow I get home late, so I will be probably a bit later than 6 o'clock to get to the stream, but we'll see. I can try to speed things up, but I have scheduled stuff I can't leave during or early for. And somebody was asking, do I have a full-time job besides YouTube? And the answer is yes. But if you don't already know, I'm going to make you wait to find out what it is, because I have a 15,000 subscriber Q&A video coming up that you can ask your questions for in my community tab on my channel. And I've already gotten that question on it, so I gotta promote that somehow. Also, I can try to get the cat cam in here. The problem is I don't have... Let me try something. Oh. Okay, the wire is really short. I thought I might have had it on a USB extension, but I do not. So the closest thing we're gonna get to a cat cam today is that. That's not that good, but I don't know. Is the cat... See, if I move the cat, she's probably gonna move. That's what I was trying to avoid. And there's like... moving process was fairly smooth, but very slow. Also, why is my microphone different? Oh, because CatCam has its own mic. Oh, maybe she won't mind that too much. I don't know, we can try leaving the cat tray there temporarily. They get to look out the window. Unfortunately, we don't get to look out the window, but the cat does at least. But yeah, moving process has been slow, but I would say smooth. I like the new place a lot better. That is for sure. I know I've talked about some of the issues with the old place on stream, but there are a lot of little things that I think most of it boils down to 1, poor management, and 2, bad upkeep. Like, it was a really old apartment building, and I think a lot of issues came from just poor upkeep during that time, and then other factors related to poor management. So the new one, a lot better in those regards. And it's in a fairly nicer area, which is nice. Anyway, what am I gonna do on this character? If you all have any ideas for what you want to see me do on the Beorning, please let me know. Also, the cat disappeared. She's now under my bed. The other cat's under my bed. They're just being weird right now. I was thinking, actually, do I have landscape difficulty turned on? I do. I might turn that off for this. But just something very simple to actually get me into some action and get some good XP is that Thickle Gundu. So maybe we can start off with that. And then if I get used to the Beorning revamp, I can turn the difficulty back on and maybe do some actual landscape content or something. I don't know. Where did I move to? I moved about 14 minutes away from where I used to live. Technically in a different city, though. How much I can share with you all. Technically in a different city. It's also a different county. But I'm like basically on the border of two cities. One small city and one bigger city. Okay, what are we doing? Subscriber town services. That's a good idea for a place to start.
Give me a moment of your time, friend. Hello there.
Also, randomly, I'm just gonna try to log into Bulwark. See what happens. It still says Bulwark closed, but yeah, still says closed. Okay, just checking. See if they accidentally opened Bulwark anyway, even after they said they couldn't. And then what do I need to do here? Oh yeah, I was going to turn landscape difficulty off actually, but we can turn these in. Because I'm pretty much always capped on these, even though I don't mean to be. You just get so many.
Greetings.
Although that does count towards the task limit, which is not ideal for this character. He could be getting actual XP. But yeah, let's try Thickle Gundu, I think. Guess that'll be just something to get me some gameplay until I figure out something else. Like for this character, I wouldn't mind doing landscape content or even King's Gondor or something, but that would be a little bit higher level. If I did like, see, I also wouldn't even mind as Xanabalzar, but that's level 130. I'm gonna out-level it. I don't know. It's something I could do. But if I actually want to get this character to level 140 for her rod for Umbar, that is, I need to do more on-level stuff at a little bit faster pace. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and start Redline. Should be a fairly quick build. So last I checked, Nature's Wrath, increasing the damage on that is basically irrelevant, but it looks like they made rank 3 give 10 additional wraths, so it might be worth 3 points for that. Crit chance always worth it. Thrash damage should be, ideally. Trample. This one increases damage and increases the debuff, but that reduces their BPE, so if you have good finesse, that shouldn't come into play. Beorning bleed damage, definitely want that. Slam damage, I will wait to see if I want that. Lumber could be good for landscape. Crippling Stings, I think, yes, this one increases Bee Swarm damage, which should be good. I will say the last beta round that I played with the Beorning, I haven't played it in Update 37, but the last beta round, the whole execute, savage, knockdown, and final strike, they weren't that strong. I would have liked to see them stronger to be more worth using. They still have the wrathful problem that was temporarily solved in the early beta rounds, but they went back to that old thing where you have more crit chance at higher wrath. So consuming the wrath negatively impacts you, and these just weren't that damaging to be immediately obvious that they were worth using. Now they might be, but I would, based on that last beta round, I would have liked to see it more. So maybe it is more. We'll start with this for now. I think I will want, probably physical mid debuffs is good. This is critical healing magnitude. 1 point, and that's probably good for base fate. Assuming fate does anything relevant for me right now. Okay, it still does. And then Heart 10, definitely want that. We could get Claw Swipe AoE damage. 1 point of Vitality probably wouldn't be bad either. Legendary item you do have to unlock with quests. Oh, it's for the War Steed. Yes, War Steed you have to unlock with quests. That's like 71 might be the lowest level you can do it. They could have also updated it to where the quest level was 75. But yeah, mid-70s basically when you get to West Rohan is when you'd unlock that. And no Mariner during this stream because the preview of them has been delayed until tomorrow at the same time, which means an hour later for me probably. I'm going to have to update the thumbnail. I'll probably do that after the stream. Hey, there's a cat. Okay, let's try a fancy maneuver. Y'all can see the cat, maybe? Is that worse? Is that better? Like this is as far as the wire goes, so I can't do much better than that right now. Oh well, there is a cat there, trust me. I keep making it worse. Okay, there you go. But yeah, as much as I like my setup actually better than the old one here, I think I shared some of it in that video where I announced the preview to be right now. But in that video, I did a little setup tour, and I think I shared a lot of it, but I definitely like this one better, but there are some challenges, mainly with the cat cam and figuring that out. Anyway, back to red Beorning building. Probably go ahead and get straight up melee damage. I'll try to not take all too much time on this. But I wouldn't mind getting Recuperate. Although that has a higher wrath cost, that'd be a good thing to get for some survivability on this character. And then if we want to focus on damage, could get Claw Swipe AoE damage. Only, oh, the 10th point in that doesn't increase the cooldown anymore. That's good. Oh, this is the trait we want, Rending Blow. I thought there was one more important one. And then ideally get 3 points in that. So this character is, of course, level, whatever level I am, 129. Oh, I definitely want to get 1 point in that. Okay, I think I'll get that so I get more wrath generation on it. Except, let me make sure I got everything. Okay, I think I did. I think this is except I didn't necessarily need 1 point in Torrent. Might have been able to better spend that elsewhere, but I think this is a good baseline for this character at 129, and it'll work well enough. There might just be some minor details that could be changed. Okay, so as far as organizing abilities, I would like, wow, I have Mirkwoodish level potions, Moria level potions there. I would like my finishers up here, so that's good. Armor Crush is still bear form only, so 6 is good for that. 7's good for a heal. Hey, Brutal Maul has a new icon. It's slightly different, slightly modified icon. That's how I should describe it. Oh, we can actually use that in bear form. That is crazy. Oh, Trample and the other thing. Those are the two abilities that I'm missing. Trample and Nature's Wrath, which has the same icon as Rush, but it's red, and it has like a little line on the right. but it's like that little armadillo type icon. I'm guessing it's supposed to be a bear, but it really looks like an armadillo or something like that to me. There's a cat. Okay, so we have to fit these two in somehow. For wrath generators, they can probably fall back here. It looks like trample generates less wrath but does more damage. Armor crush, I'll try this, but I'm not too sure on this organization here. Yeah, let's see what we can do. I believe one of the better combos in the game is still get your crit with Brutal Maul here. Also, weren't mobs supposed to not... Oh, they're deflecting the NPCs, that's right. I was gonna say, weren't they supposed to not deflect? Wasn't that an update recently? But they are deflecting the NPCs, which are level 20 for anybody curious. Also, did Beast Form just like almost one-shot that guy? Even though the NPCs may look like they're not helping, they're actually being very helpful by deflected. Oh, that one shot him. They're very helpful through this buff. I don't think it says exactly what it does to me, but heartened by the presence of the dwarves, maybe. I think they gave like an actual buff and sometimes a heal or something, but I'm actually not seeing those, so I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get used to Beorning gameplay and optimizing things mainly. Level 130 Valor is worth it. It depends on what you want to do. For the Mariner class, I could definitely see it being worth it if you want to get them up to endgame and all the such. Also, could consider the 140 Valor. I'm guessing one of the expansion bundles will come with exactly that. So that's something to look out for. Yeah, that is a pretty good AoE. Maybe it's not as bad as it was in beta, but I'm way too distracted and focused on just getting through this to pay much attention to that right now, to be honest. I wonder if Sting still does more damage in bear form. That used to be a thing. Like, more damage over time it does. That's kind of unfortunate. I personally would prefer consistency there rather than it necessarily just doing more damage. Execute? 67k? Doesn't seem too bad, but it's still the big thing is if losing the crit chance here is more impactful than the damage that Execute itself does, it may just never be worth using. Is this a dungeon you can do solo with NPCs? That is not a normal thing in LOTRO until around level 120, which is when this instance unlocks. It was one of the first ones where it's a group dungeon, so it's like a 6-man instance that you can run a solo version of. And in this case, it has a bunch of NPCs here to help you as if you are in a group. Not all of them will have NPCs to help you. Some of them will, or they will have like one NPC you can use. And they'll give you buffs or whatever, but in this case you get all these dwarfs here to help you. So it seems like the idea to me would be that you switch to man form after using one of your finishers to quickly build some wrath. But I wonder if, like, in an optimal rotation, you would have Serrated Edge, you would maintain that, or Slash if you're in single target, because both of those bleeds last 18 seconds now, it looks like. And then Exposed Man, I don't know if they ever made it consistent, what it does between the two forms. It looks like it, so that's a good thing. So it doesn't really matter what form you use it in, it seems. I also believe Control 6, when I use that, that's increases our damage, essentially, yeah. Alright. Now, Now it's time for the fun. Now, running the solo version of dungeons like this usually doesn't give you gear. Some of the newer ones have started dropping gear. It's usually not great gear, but it's pretty similar to the stuff you can get running in a group, so it's not that bad, all things considered. Oh wow, rush moves you fast. It's an actual rush now. I was not prepared for that. Let me use recuperate. Really surprised how easy this is. I remember last time I ran it, this was, my character was actually quite squishy in it, so I don't know if it's side effects of SAS Squish or even Beorning revamp or both. But this is quite a bit easier than last time I attempted this instance, also misused that. So it's pretty good for my own progression here. Alright, let's try Savage Knockdown there. I'm still taking quite a bit of damage. I'm noticing I don't have the NPC buff right now. Maybe I need to get closer to them, but yeah, I was gonna say I noticed I'm not getting their OP heals. That's a lot of felt spirits. It also looks like they haven't fixed the bug that makes Brutal Malt look like it's off cooldown when it's on cooldown. Unfortunately. Yeah, if story is locked to dungeons, you can still experience them, but for the most part, there isn't, like, especially for book quests later on, there are a lot of book quests early on that involve landscape group content, but not necessarily dungeon group content. But a lot of the ones later on, if they are involved in story, even if it's unrelated to the epic quest or main story, you can do the dungeons and solo version. The one exception would be raids are usually not, they don't have a solo version usually. Where is this captain? He appears stuck. Also, you can let me know if there are any issues with the microphone. I haven't seen anything, and to me it sounded fine in the videos, maybe a little bit worse than it used to, but it is farther away from me, which I kind of like. So that's one of the things I've been wanting to improve, but it's also just different spot. Really curious what this is like on a level 120 character actually being on level and NPCs helping you. Might be worth at that point to turn landscape difficulty on. I turned it on because I remember the last time I've run this, it was actually a bit on the difficult side. But if y'all can see, as slow as I'm going in this, I'm going extra slow today. But you get good XP running this in the solo version as the main reason to run it like this. It's also, for people interested in this, a great way to get reward track XP, especially with XP boosters, which is true of basically anything. XP boosters will double your progress, but if you're doubling the progress of something that's already fast, then you get a little more value out of it. Also, fun fact, you can actually move during Maul now. I know a lot of people were requesting this, but I personally never minded that it locked you in place. It was kind of the cost of using such a powerful ability in a way, besides, you know, the wrath cost. I could see maybe for healing it being very, well, it's nice quality of life no matter what spec you are, but for healing maybe feeling a little bit more necessary to be able to move. But it's fun, I suppose, regardless. If I played Blue Line, I could actually do better, more chain pulls without the NPCs kind of more or less breaking things. Maybe we can do another run in Blue Line and see if it goes better. Oh yeah, and as a tank, it's probably good for the taunt. That is a good point, Sandals. Yeah, I think my bleeds are what's contributing a lot of the damage here. I could get combat analysis to actually see, but I think if we even just look at the icon serrated edge, and maybe not as much slash, but serrated edge, even claw swipe, that bleed isn't actually that great. But they're probably some of my bigger contributors to the AoE damage. Oh yeah, if you're a healer, you don't have to stand in puddles. It is also true from that more group content perspective where you have puddles or even on landscape, because LOTRO loves puddles. Like, the ability to move out of those is definitely not to be underrated. Forget what Call of the Wild? Call 2 Wild does. Just 50% increased damage. That's all it does, nothing with wrath generation anymore or wrath consumption. I feel like I spend too much time in man form sometimes, but when mobs die this quick, and I'm not used to the class and jumping into the changes without having played it much, it's, I don't know, for me at least, almost button mashing, and it works basically just as well in main form as bear form. I'd probably notice slow DPS on a boss fight like this, though, if I tried entirely in bear form. I'm gonna say that execute was probably a little much, but that only crit for 30k, which is much less than it's been hitting these other folks for. I definitely need to make some skill bar changes as well. I don't know why, but I'm just randomly checking if there's any update on the beta, but I'm not seeing any. I don't think there will be. But yeah, not seeing any. Just got curious. I do not have an XP buff going on right now that I am aware of. All these, I believe, are 0 because I'm too high level for them. But that does remind me, we have gold presents. We get those every day now. At least if you're a subscriber, you do, which I am a subscriber. Got some Matham Hunter's armor. Wonder if the stat squish... let's see, how would I describe it? Fixed these, maybe? Looks like 403 item level for 130 is not good, so probably not. But actually better than what this character has. I also don't know what the stat squish, so I don't know how much it changed the curve or how it changed the curve. So we do know that the stat squish did change the stat curve. So your relative power, if you're doing under or over leveled content, has changed based on the stat squish. And that we also know they did other balancing and they smoothed some of the power spikes and the such. Why can't I find the way down? I've done this so many times. Probably because I'm just not actually going where I need to go. Here we go. But yeah, I'm curious what the new stat curve looks like. I think the LOTRO wiki maybe used to have that. Actually, I'm not sure. I think they had stat derivations, but I don't know if they had the stat curve. Like basically stat value as a function of level. But anyway, the point is, I don't know what it looks like now, and if it's much different than the previous one, because we did have exponential scaling with stats, starting with maybe level 115, 120, is when I really picked up on it. It could have started even earlier. But basically, every new level cap, stats doubled from like your very baseline values, at least. I think it was doubled. I don't know how that continued into Gundabad, but I'm pretty sure it was doubling. But anyway, it had that exponential growth of stats. I'm wondering if they changed that. Now, I can't comment on the perspective from like other MMOs and what they do, but I've never been a big fan of pure exponential scaling. Non-linear might not necessarily be bad, but I've never been a fan of the actual exponential scaling of stats with level. To me, the biggest issue actually was not even with level, but at the level cap in World of Warcraft. I know has had this issue. I don't know what it's like in Dragonflight, but LOTRO has more recently started to have this issue. I noticed where within a level cap, stats go way up. So like the difference between a fresh level 140 and the difference between a well-geared one is very significant. And I know WoW had that issue for the longest while, but maybe I just didn't pay attention to it, but I don't remember that being a thing, like way back in the day in LOTRO. But it could have been. But something I noticed with the 130 cap and the 140 cap especially, could have been also the 120 cap, but I didn't play that one quite as much. Similar with 115. And 105 I played a little bit more, but that is one that I didn't notice it much with the larger playtime even. So anyway, where I'm getting to is I don't know if the stat squish changed that, but it would be nice if it changed that is all, because one of the things that one of the reasons that I haven't spent as much time maybe progressing endgame content in LOTRO as I have previously is the progression that they have. I don't think values my time is how I describe it, or I don't get a lot of value out of the time I spend progressing my character in endgame because of the huge progression, like the huge bump in stats throughout the level cap. LOTRO also has a lack of catch-up mechanics, unfortunately, in that it's not always terrible, but for certain things like legendary items, that's been a big one in 140. Virtues, kind of, but that's a system a bit unrelated to gearing. But with gears, usually, I guess with Gundabad and now, or with level 130, so Minas Morgul and now Gundabad, later updates in the expansion cycle will add an instance cluster, such as the Stair Battle, whatever that one, Shakalash, in level 130 with War of Three Peaks, that one and the associated raid, and then also the Return to Karn-Dûm instance cluster. You can get some pretty solid gear pieces for running even the lower difficulties of those. The higher difficulties, of course, you have different gear pieces and better gear pieces, but it's not that hard to get some decent pieces of armor. But that also leads to another issue. Wow. I feel like I haven't been able to complain about LOTRO enough because I haven't played it the past month. But the other issue that sort of leads to what the way they have it now is that old gear or old content becomes irrelevant. Like right now I have basically no reason to run the Gundabad 3-mans or the Gundabad 6-man, whatever they're called. There's the frog one, or the toad one, with, what's his name? Really fun fight. And then there's the one with the boss on the left and the one with the boss on the right. And the goal is to get the key to the cage that's in the middle, whatever that one's called. Yeah, Pugalok, Din of Pugalok, and another one's Assault on Durstrok, I think. I have no reason to run those, basically. And then, same with the 6-man. I forget what that one's called. maybe there's a reason to run those related to embers, but I don't think for any specific gear pieces, if I remember correctly. But it was kind of similar when War of Three Peaks came out for 130, as the gear, at least from the Minas Morgul instances, weren't that useful. I know people ran like tier 3 of the 3-mans for mainly embers, and I think crafting materials as well. But otherwise, they just didn't seem to be useful. So LOTRO endgame tends to have this problem where there's a lack of content, but not necessarily from them not making much content, but making content at that level cap irrelevant. So it's not a good... You don't get much value for your time playing that older content compared to just running the new content. Which I could see them wanting to make new content more relevant or maybe a little bit more worthy, but yeah, the stat scaling is where we're getting back to the stat scaling, where this all started. Is sort of a cause of this issue, because it means the lower item level gear pieces that drop from these older instances, even though they're at the same level cap, are just not as good, and you can much more easily get much better gear with much higher stats that make your character much more powerful by running the new instances. So outside of maybe currency farming, or just getting some currency, getting some embers of enchantment or whatever, maybe completing deeds, the older instances are not that relevant. Anyway, there's my whole endgame rant that I did not plan on going on. But that is with the stat revamp. Why I'm curious what the new stat curve looks like, even within even within just level 140. What's the, say, item level 450, I believe is what we'd have, to item level 499 stat curve look like. And if it still has that exponential curve, then I don't have too high hopes for what gearing will look like in Umbar, which I expect all of the changes, the stat squish, all that has been in preparation, of course, for hopefully a better expansion experience throughout Corsairs of Umbar, but time will tell. All that said about stats and endgame, that's more to explain why I just don't have as much excitement or as much fun farming in-game content and progressing my character, but I usually still have fun with the content.
You have sought for dragons and dwarves.
I feel like I've talked about that in a video recently, haven't I? Or when did it, what was I talking about that? I think it was a video, but I honestly forget. Oh yeah, because it's about has LOTRO gotten worse. Because that was about my lack of in-game playtime. And I think I basically talked about similar things, but in different words there. So in that video, it was more, yeah, just about not wanting to farm, repeat a bunch of the same content over and over, and getting burnt out on the such. But LOTRO has not gotten worse. In fact, a lot of LOTRO has gotten better, which I think I started to talk about in that video, and that's what led to the why I actually play LOTRO video. That feels so long ago that I made those two videos, but I think they were in, like, July. July feels like half a year ago, to be honest. The past month or so. 2 months, really, have been kind of crazy. Because those videos, did they go up while I was away? Yes, they did. Anyway, what do I think about DDO? Sorry, I'll get back to chat. I have played DDO once, but it's not really a game for me, is how I describe it. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I don't necessarily think it's a terrible game or anything. And yeah, the let's see, light blue bar is probably from me using the Destiny points. I only have 387,000 of those, but that's how I'm slowly whittling that number down. I use it for characters that I actually want to progress their level, so good reminder on that. And the dark blue would be from VIP. Which, oh, it looks like Harveen covered that. Thank you, Harveen. Taking care of chat for me. Hey, Gloriam. Interesting thing. I don't know if you were here before, but you were talking about the sound is fine. Oh yeah, and asking about the dungeons, but I just picked up on your name. I think I remember somebody commenting on one of your comments, maybe? Or something. We have a kin member named Glor. But I remember your name coming up somehow, somewhere with that. But it's a different Glor, I believe. Anyway, what now? We almost got a full level up. Like, I started right here-ish in 129, and I'm not using any XP boost. There's no double XP going on. I did have rested XP or bonus XP, double XP going on the whole time. But if I use like a 200% XP boost on top of that, and if we had a VIP weekend on top of all of that, might even be able to get more than like 2-ish level ups maybe for one run of that. So that is pretty impressive if you want to level fast. I know I ran through that very slowly, but get your character some XP. Alright, this has made me curious though. How powerful is the Beorning? Like, was that a fluke and that instance just happened to be made a lot easier than I remember it being? Or is the Beorning super OP?
The school at Thom Mirdine was once a pinnacle of learning.
So, one way to find out is to run this instance. I'm hitting that mob for 1.4k, so that's not necessarily great. Okay, yeah, this looks more like normal damage numbers. Also, I don't know why Serrated Edge didn't hit those guys. Maybe a little disconnect from where I was facing and where the game thought I was facing. Not bad damage once I use my good stuff, but this is more in line with my expectations. I am also actually taking damage now. Those dwarfs are very OP. They're what enable that whole strategy of running through that instance. Really not used to being able to move during this. Probably a waste to use my finisher there, but oh well. They're never gonna get used if I don't use them in those situations. Actually might not get terrible XP from this. I think I can do the side quests here fairly easily to kill everything. Also, I'm pretty sure I ran this at 130, so I don't know why one of the mobs spawned at level 129. That's kind of strange. Also, I believe I did a bad sequence of abilities there. It's nice how strong of a heal Recuperate is. Of course, it costs 10 Wrath, which is going to be nerfed to 20 Wrath. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video for more details. So this is not good from a YouTube perspective. For anybody curious, but I'm going to have a stream today, which usually means that if I did a video tomorrow, it would usually not get pushed to as many people. Because usually the stream takes a while to process, and for whatever reason, it's almost like I'm uploading 2 videos at once. At least that's how it had worked. Back a couple months ago and prior to that, but I'm actually taking decent damage here. But then I also plan to stream tomorrow when we actually get the Mariner Preview, which means I have a lot of work to do today and early tomorrow and before that. Also, I should pay attention to my health. But essentially, yeah, we'll see how it goes having a stream this evening, a video tomorrow morning, and then another stream tomorrow evening. For people who just like more content, it'll be a great time. See how this works. There's a great chance that I die here, but if I haven't died yet, I am doing something wrong. I've probably been playing this character for like an hour. And like, we have this expectation that I should be dying roughly every hour in the game, or I'm not trying hard enough. Also, I think they stunned me in the middle of that ability, so it didn't go off, but it consumed my wrath. Wonderful. Didn't they make the interrupt actually consume wrath now? Yes, Vicious Claws does. Vicious Claws Claw? Why does it have that subtitle, Claw? Oh, my health. I don't know if this thing restores health, does it? Oh, it does, 31,000? Oh, that's pretty strong. This is a Redline Beorning right now. I actually made Redline Beorning have abilities, so it looks kind of like the old blue and yellow in that case. In that way. Yep, red. That hurt. They fixed Redline Beorning? That's pretty much what they did. Actually, they still do have some issues, but they're so much better than they used to be. Just because I can. Is he doing a spinny thing? Yep. I forget that ability doesn't have an induction bar. Not too bad. Ooh, I might actually be able to use this Tracer even though it's Turn the Tides damage. No, this character actually does have real Tracers. It's a miracle. I never know. Oh, excuse my hiccups, but I never know with a leveling character like this. That's pretty nice. I have a 131 Reforge coming up. Yeah, apparently red can solo instances. I did not know that either, but I might get into too much danger there. I got into a little bit at some of those moments. I thought I'd finally have my death, but then this thing randomly heals for half my health now, Bracing Roar. So that's pretty nice. 3-man team could level on free-to-play accounts in instances. You probably could. I could see that getting repetitive after a while, but definitely could. There'd be a lot of repeating instances, but you could quest if you want as well in the group, but yeah, you'd probably end up repeating a lot of the same instances over and over. Could be an interesting challenge for y'all to do like 6-mans while leveling though. So that is my cat, the one right here, typing for us. The one right there. The other, more different cat is right. Oh, right. Hold up there. That's this cat blocking the camera. Oh, she actually typed that, really? Into say chat? I didn't know enter was ever pressed, and my cat actually sent that message to everybody. Whoops. Gotta try to say hi to somebody who logged in to Kin. I need to... Oh no, I need to do something about the cat cams. It's been a while since Piper's been able to rub against the microphone during streams. That is a thing she used to do. I'm sure you all remember. What are you rubbing against my chin for? I gotta take a break for the cat. I'm probably getting close to wrapping up for the day because we aren't able to preview the Mariner. It'll probably be a short stream. I was prepared, like if I had to, I was prepared to go like 5-6 hours today. So that part's a little bit of different. I don't. It'd be tough for me to do that many hours tomorrow. After Thursday, though, I'm a whole lot less busy. It took me so long to get all the cat hair out of the mic pop filter. That's what it is. I'm gonna call it a shield. Solo delving on champion. Well, I don't have a level 140 champion to even try to solo delving on them. But I think some people can do 12, but it probably takes a while. I think I'd probably ideally be in red or blue line, if I had to guess. And from what I've heard from people who have done it. But I think most people usually do tier 7 because that's by far the most efficient to do solo. Now she's rubbing against my chin instead of the mic. Stat Squish is working. Sort of, for the most part. There's still some bug fixes. Physical classes will get their DPS boosted a bit in the next update. Yeah, she loves getting her ears scratched. One of my viewers is in the Ken. Potentially watching right now. Well, library. Good idea. We're gonna sit here doing nothing. Let me spank. Let me spank all those goblins and orcs in library. But let me spec tank. Those are two different words, believe it or not. Also, it's like sunset time.
And withstood the brunt of
Okay,
Sauron's
see
attack against the
sun?
Regions.
Oh, it's not that close to
Though much
sunset.
of the surviving
Well, I mean,
was
it's
carried
close,
away
but
by
there's
Elrond
clouds.
Half-Elven, the force of Angmar now seeks the remnants.
I like looking outside. There is basically no outdoor view at my old place, so that's one of the huge improvements here. Lore Master wasn't really reworked, but I believe the pets were buffed. I kind of forgot about that. Piper, you do not need to sit your butt right on my arm. She probably thinks she's being so nice. I have 3 140s. Working on a 4th. Maybe can get this guy to 140 before Umbar. Okay, we're specking blue. So I guess that's now trait number 1. because blue line's number 1. Definitely used to be for me. That means we're getting blue line traits, not red line traits. Alright, get some vitality. I'm probably not going to do too much group-oriented stuff, so we'll ignore all that. Wait, increase, so when you evade you get incoming healing. That sounds sketchy, but sure. Crit defense? No, this is physical and tactical met. Did that used to... No, that may be used to just be tactical. I thought one of those was crit defense in the old blue line, that is. Increased attack duration and skill induction. We'll see. Yes, Thorned Armor. That stuff was kind of fun. I didn't have the most time to play around with it, but I remember the reflex being pretty fun, and I don't know, I feel like they fit in with Beorning. Definitely want crit chance. That is 100%. Probably want moderately increased threat. Well, there's some motivation to pick that for blue line Beornings. And then Nature's Wrath, getting that presumably also useful. Slash applying a bleed. How about Serrated Edge applying a bleed? Doubling that bleed damage. Maybe I'll go full DPS mode here. Let's go ahead and at least get 1 point in this. And that's probably good for now. We're gonna be a glass cannon tank spec here. I'll be greedy with more bleed damage here. Is Slam, does that do anything in blue line? A chance to apply more Wrath, okay. Increase melee damage. How about some Bee Swarm? We can get Execute. That's probably not greatly increased threat though. That's kind of interesting. Savage Knockdown and the other AoE could be a little bit more interesting, but I think for this character's purposes, I will go, yeah, why not get Turn the Tides? Oh, that only does damage for each corruption. We should get that. With normal red line, it might be more worth it, but... Now, Thrash doesn't AoE on tier 3 in the blue line, I don't believe. So I probably don't need to worry too much about that. I could get more Fate. If I don't get Execute, that's probably my next best option. Let me just double check. Increased threat, incoming healing. Okay, maybe 1 point in that for the incoming healing modifier. And then I could get this. I mean, that is a debuff, assuming it works on boss attacks. That'd be fine. Yeah, I'm guessing the Lore Master revamp is... Hold up. Let me get my thoughts together because I have a couple things distracting me. I believe the Lore Master revamp, a lot of people didn't like what they were proposing, especially for the blue line, so I'm guessing they went back to the drawing board with it. That's my hope, at least. So it's probably releasing later than perhaps their initial plan. Also, somebody in Kin just reminded me that I wanted to show you all one more thing before we actually got the preview. Let me make sure all is good there. It's gonna take me a minute to find it. This one, I think. Yes, so somebody had a post on Reddit about, let me show you this. Looks good. On the Mariner and Umbar, and I didn't realize the Brawler preview we had was September 9th. This is now going to be September 13th, by the way, but I didn't realize how close they were. I thought the Mariner one came, it's felt like a lot earlier than the Brawler exclusive preview that also came with the Legendary Item Revamp preview. But the pre-order, based on this timeline, we could suspect that it's going to be somewhat similar with Umbar and Gundabad, so late September, early October for pre-order. Brawler access, could expect a couple weeks after that, which would be Mariner access. Although, if you ask me, the Brawler came out a touch too early. But, You know, they've worked on it since then. It's just some great updates to it, but it just wasn't that great to me, at least on launch. So potentially mid-November for Umbar release date, essentially, with the pre-patch mid-October potentially, like a month-ish before, based on that. But that was some pretty good investigation work by Artist Easy. So yeah, speculatively, perhaps mid-October for a Mariner release, I believe, is what we were seeing there. Anyway, we have some stuff to do here. What is this thing? Guarded attack? Alright then. Oh, that's an any form ability. What better way to potentially finally have my first death and to test Blue Line Beorning out. Wow, Relentless lasts a long time. That's crazy. That's some pretty good total damage output for that. Also, my organization of abilities is quite terrible here, if I'm gonna be honest. I have so many debuffs. Did I get everything in that room, by the way? Thorned Armor? That's about to be one of my favorite abilities in the entire game. Okay, we need to generate some Wrath. We can use like Hearten in any form now as well. That's crazy. I'm like, I have to switch to man form to use my stuff, but I do not. Even Ferocious Roar we can use in any form. That's some just really different stuff. Also, I'm lagging. Hopefully the stream ain't dropping frames and it's just LOTRO lag. And hopefully I'm not going to die as a result of it. That would be bad. We've successfully gone without dying all stream, despite my best efforts, especially lately. I've really been pushing it. And I am really pushing it right now as well. Oh, I'm taking so much damage. Or at least, I don't know if I dropped morale or going into bear form increased my morale is maybe what happened there. Increased to max morale. What could go wrong? Looks perfectly safe to me. A spec I haven't really played doing this. All's well here. What's this guy do? Ooh, yes, I would like that, please. Thank you. We'll get all those evades. Perfectly balanced. Nothing is wrong with this at all. How many targets did this thing hit? Oh, it's just 10 meters, so it hits everything. That's impressive for LOTRO. Don't really know why I'm going to man form. Force of habit, I guess. Muscle memory, something like that. Don't necessarily need to there. Also, where's my other reflect? Don't I have another thing that reflects? Thickened Hide reduces incoming damage, counter. I thought there was a second cooldown he got that reflected. Maybe not anymore. Maybe Hurricane in the beta, that used to be another reflect. But it was basically Thorned Armor, but like stronger, or at least had different buff, but it also had a reflect, but maybe that doesn't exist anymore. Also, when's this guy gonna activate? Did we already kill him or something bugged there? Oh no, now he's working. I thought I'd been killing this boss the whole time too. Really gotta make sure you're safe when you use Relentless there. But yeah, I'm basically going to man form this time purposefully to use Claw Swipe or whatever that's called. It's not called Claw Swipe. It's the man version of Claw Swipe now. Open it. Oh, I do not want to do that. Probably from hitting control, because I think control S brings up this door. But yeah, I so far have zero complaints about the power level of this character and Blue Line Beorning. With my super janky ability setup and organization on my bars, I think it's pretty reasonable how well I'm doing in this. I wonder how loud my air conditioner is for you all, because like some downsides of this apartment, unfortunately it's not perfectly perfect, but the air conditioner is quite loud. It works fairly well, but one of the things I kind of like about it is that I can see the sunset from here, meaning that I get the sun here in summer. So this room in particular, there's quite a bit of a temperature differential between this room and the other room out there. So it's warmer in here, unfortunately. Which means for, like, to keep this room comfortable, I would have to turn the air down for the whole apartment. But anyway, I was curious if it was loud on the microphone at all. I haven't heard it too much in editing. But then during winter, when it's actually nice outside here, it will be not a bad thing to have the sun in, and the cats I know will like that. Anyway, we got the first boss down. That did take forever, but I guess we pulled everything on the way there. So that was basically one ginormously long fight. I guess I don't even have the challenge mode, so let's just pull everything. Oh, did I ever finish that quest in school? Or did I just never finish that? The one to kill all the side mobs? I think I just left after I killed the boss. Just to speed things up, I'm gonna hit stuff along the way a bit more. Be nice if Recuperate could stack with itself, but I don't remember it used to do that. For some reason I was thinking it did, but maybe it never did. Also, I think playing Blue Line, unfortunately Claw Swipe doesn't have a bleed anymore. That was such a fun part of it that it's now exclusive to Red Line. Getting a little bit dangerous there, but after a couple of abilities, not even any of my strong cooldowns really. Well, if I don't switch to main form. Okay, I'll use one of my cooldowns, why not? I have plenty of them, and then I'll also use my Reflect with that. I'm still not in any real danger though, which is nice. It'd be nice if they changed the counter mechanic. That is one thing that, like, as far as disappointments go, I guess, with the Blue Line part of the Beorning revamp, is I would have loved to see that changed. But it feels kind of pointless. Counterattack with counter. They are doing a heal. I need an interrupt somewhere, please. Where's my interrupts? Here it is, 3. Okay, I think I interrupted him anyway. No, I didn't. I also didn't have floating names on, so I couldn't see the induction bar. Oh, that's unfortunate. I also think all these guys are healing each other. Oh well, doesn't matter. This is why I went with all those DPS traits, by the way. I think even going in man form and getting my slash bleed will help my damage. I think slash tears up 3 times, so I can get, maybe not. Slash doesn't tear up anymore. Huh. Alright then. Still, getting that 1 bleed on him, probably worth it from a damage perspective, because that's over the full 18-second duration, that is quite a bit of damage. I think timing that's going to be one of the more difficult parts without essentially having a timer up or something to remind me or notify me essentially that that is time to refresh it. Oh, Bella, I saw your question, but that's one of the things I think I was getting distracted and had to focus on one thing. But you said for stock video footage for LOTRO. I do not know of any resources. That's why I've been essentially building my own library of stock LOTRO footage. Anything of like just videos of different locations, different systems, and things like that. Now, the LOTRO trailers for different expansions and the such can be okay for certain things if you want those. You know, like they can be good sort of B-roll type footage. But otherwise, at least for my videos, the vast majority of it I record on my own. Some of the exceptions that I have actually asked people for footage for before is PvMP content. I forget their name exactly, but somebody provided me or let me use one of their videos essentially. So I basically had that one. Whenever I talk about PvMP, I just use that one clip from this video that I asked for to use a while ago. And then also festivals. So some people have let me use their winter stock and weather stock. I believe I have both of those. Because I mean, all those videos on YouTube, like, you know, those are other people's videos, so I don't feel it's fair to just take footage from them without getting permission, basically. Even if it is of something simple like just a video capture of a player run event. That's what I meant, player run event, not necessarily a festival. Player run festival might work as well. All button mashing is eventually getting this guy dead. I have no idea what I was doing that whole time. It was all based on, I don't know, just doing it passively, subconsciously. There's an actual word for it that I can't think of right now. Hey, we got a teal pocket item, which is 1 item level lower than my current one, even though it's level 130. Something stat squish, broken item levels. Oh, that's because this is Grave Gift. That's, no, that is supposed to be higher level. I thought it was the same type of pocket item. But what's interesting is this teal one's a lot better for damage. And we know I have plenty of survivability. That also doubles the vitality, so I like the new one. Could use that vitality clearly, and, you know, more damage. That's what I actually need. And this one's quite a bit better than the Hero's Ring, so we'll get rid of that. I'm actually surprised I've got good, like, actual upgrades from this. Finesse-wise, I am a little bit low, but mostly fine. Physical mastery is kind of low, actually, to be honest. But yeah, this character, I'm impressed with his damage, especially considering my 120 gear that's kind of false 120 gear. This is more intro 130 gear level. The level 120 Valar gear is really OP for level 120, but maybe not as much so now with the stat squish. Maybe it, with the stat squish, works a little bit better at level 130. Another reason my character could be quite a bit more powerful. The stat squish basically diminish the effect of using gear 10 levels below mine. Oh yeah, skirmishes aren't bad. I don't know, I used to run those all the time, but I just haven't lately. I feel like it used to also be fun to collect marks and medallions and the such. watching something very intently out there. The camera's wanting to fall. Got two cats. Y'all probably couldn't hear me. I was talking that whole time about the cats. I forget I don't have a microphone just attached to me. But Cat was watching something very intently, basically. Don't know where they went. One of them disappeared. The other is... there she is. Oh, this is actually working. There she is. Okay, let's get back to the game. Oh, don't notice the AC at all. That's good. Okay, I think that's an airplane or something. I didn't know if it was thundering. There are storms somewhat nearby-ish. But the reason I was wondering that is I do have power issues sometimes when it storms. At least the last like 2 storms, I had power go out for like 1 minute each time right when it started to rain, and then it was fine after that. Oh, that never equip? Or did I unequip it? Anyway, I think that is probably about all I have for the stream. Again, for anybody who maybe is just tuning in and has missed what's gone on, the early preview for the Mariner was delayed. So that is now going to be tomorrow at the same time. So I will basically copy the stream over to a new one tomorrow, and I will change the thumbnail and all that to make sure people hopefully know that this was going to be the Mariner stream, but got delayed. So yeah, outside of the delay though, I'm really curious to see if they will have anything else related to the Corsairs of Umbar expansion in the beta. I don't remember if the Brawler and Legendary item beta had anything related to Gundabad, but yeah, I'm just curious. Oh, I leveled up. Did I even notice that? If we think I'm OP now, let's see what reforging does. Honey Carver and Honey Carving. Yeah, that's actually still a very significant boost. So whatever they did with Stat Squish, there's still a huge jump from 130 to 131, or technically 126, I guess, to 131. But yeah, the 131 reforge still is huge jump in stats, it looks like, for better or worse. It's about 20% on the bleed damage, and fairly similar on the actual serrated edge damage. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, really, but it's just still a thing. I don't know what the percent would have been before. I'm actually curious, but since I've talked so much about the stat squish, see if the LOTRO wiki has anything on stat curves. It might have used to have, I don't know. Let's see. It looks like, I don't know if this is updated for update 37, but it looks like this page has some of that information, where there's character level, progression multiplier as they call it here, and that goes up to 130, so it's probably old, but that's what it used to look like essentially. Why is it not zooming out? Oh, it's just, okay, whatever. But yeah, I think with that, I will show you all a cat. And this is not quite my view, but the view from the cat shelf of the cat. I guess that works for a cat cam. She was watching the dog cross right. Oh, where's my cursor's not showing up for some reason, but like right below us is where the dog was crossing. She was watching. I don't know what she's watching now. Something in the bottom left. Maybe she's waiting for the dog to return. I don't know. Cats are being cats. So we have this cat. Hold up. This cat also there with my preview. And right here. And then we have this cat. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this stream, so I hope you all enjoyed this, and despite us not actually previewing the Mariner, I plan to be here basically same time tomorrow. At least starting maybe 7 p.m. is probably when I'll shoot for. That'd be Eastern time to actually preview the Mariner, hopefully. Anyway, if you did enjoy the stream, please consider liking and subscribing for more. And thanks for joining, chatting, and watching, everyone, especially since we couldn't actually preview the Mariner.